What's going on, fantasy football fans? I'm your host, Hussein the Brain, and you're watching The Couch. Welcome to my Week 7 daily fantasy football NFL picks. Last week, most of my picks were mediocre, but because Phillip Rivers and DeAndre Hopkins killed it, that was good enough for us to win our 50-50 leagues last week. Some of you guys don't quite get why we pick kickers and defenses first. It's just a strategy to help us emphasize that kickers are the least important position in DFS. And also, defenses are the second least important position in DFS. By doing so, by picking the kicker and defense first, it gives us a better idea of our remaining salary. Now, before you pick your DFS lineup, I highly suggest you watch this video. It's a great video that reveals more DFS strategies like the one I just mentioned and will tremendously help you pick your lineup for this week. And here are my picks for Week 7. Let's start off with a cheap kicker. You can go with any of these three options right here. Matt Prater at $4,500, that's minimum price. Or Greg Zuerlein, $4,600, or the Pittsburgh Steelers kicker Chris Boswell. He was Special Teams Player of the Week last week, and he's only $4,600. If we have a good amount of money left over and we want to spend up on a kicker, I like Matt Bryant this week at $4,900, going against the Tennessee Titans. And the best kicker this week, I think, is going to be Stephen Gostkowski, priced at $5,100. Very expensive though. Now for the defenses, very inconsistent week to week on the fantasy points the defense gets. You can really go with a lot of options here if you're playing in Thursday slates. You go with 49ers, they're priced minimum salary $4,000. I think that's a good value pick right there. Russell Wilson's pass protection with this offensive line is just terrible. Marshawn Lynch should have a decent game though. So, I mean, not too confident with the Niners D, but they're 4,000. Defense I'm going to stick here is the Rams defense at 4,500. Let's go with them. There's a lot more options here. You got the Washington defense. I like the Dolphins in a GPP. Could be a windy game. Not too windy, but possibly the strongest wins for Week 7 out of any other game. The Bills is okay tournament pick. Texans is another good tournament pick. I really like the Cardinals defense. I would like the Seahawks defense more if Carlos Hyde were out. We don't know right when I'm recording this video. I don't know if Anquan Boldin's going to play either. The Seahawks defense is good, but they are priced at the maximum salary, $5,200. So I probably like the Cardinals D a little bit more. So now that I have Matt Prater and we have the Rams defense, we're going to pick our other players, start from the quarterback and work our way down. And if I have some room left over, I may spend a little bit more on a kicker. I really like the Rams defense. I like their price. $4,500 is good. So we can go back down or go back up. If I really need $100 more, I may go with Washington's defense. For quarterbacks, I like Andrew Luck, Drew Brees. I really like Carson Palmer. He is a little expensive, but I like that the Cardinals aren't scared to play with an explosive offense, chuck the ball down the field. You never know what they're going to do. They don't ease up on opponents. So Palmer is a decent pick going up against the Ravens. And even in GPPs, that's a decent stack. You can stack him with Michael Floyd if you want to go super risky with an unpopular pick. Definitely want to stack him with John Brown. He's that deep threat, and Larry Fitzgerald is that consistent wide receiver for them. So you can stack them with all three. Not too smart there, but one or two is probably better if you stack them with, let's say, John Brown and Larry Fitzgerald, or John Brown and Michael Floyd if you want to go super risky. Matt Ryan's a good tournament play. I would stack him with Julio Jones this week. I really like Phillip Rivers going against the Raiders. Not a bad price there. Now, one of my favorite quarterbacks, good value here, is Ryan Fitzpatrick. I really like Fitzpatrick going against the Patriots. They're going to need to throw the ball eventually. I like Eric Decker. I like Brandon Marshall. So I think Fitzpatrick is priced right at $7,100. Derek Carr is another decent option. EJ Manuel is pretty cheap. Not too confident in him. I really like Kirk Cousins, priced at only $6,300. Not a bad matchup going against the Bucs. I really like this value. Now, typically I like to spend more on quarterbacks in cash games, but this week I'm going to make an exception. I really like Kirk Cousins and Ryan Fitzpatrick. I just think the value is really going to be there. Really can't beat that value. It's $6,300 if a quarterback throws one touchdown and has 250 passing yards. That's not going to be that bad for a cash game, especially if you hit on your other picks. For running backs, everyone including me has Devonta Freeman projected to score the most points out of any running back. He is priced a little high though, but hey, in a cash game, maybe we're spending that money. Chris Ivory, another expensive running back, but slated to have a great game. Really good pick in cash games. We want to save a little bit of money. I really like LeSean McCoy, $7,700. We know he's going to get a ton of touches. Buffalo Bills are decimated with injuries. Tyrod Taylor's not going to start. Percy Harvin is not going to play. He's contemplating retirement. And Sammy Watkins is out as well. So I think LeSean McCoy is going to get a ton of touches. I'd be shocked if he got less than 20 touches this game. Mark Ingram, he's the ultimate cash play every week. He has a high floor. I think the Saints are going to need to feed the ball to Mark Ingram to win this game against the Colts. Now, it's going to be a high-scoring game. Drew Brees is going to have to throw, but they're going to have to give the ball to Mark Ingram to have a chance to win this game and control the time of possession. Todd Gurley is a great pick in both cash games and tournaments. He's got a decent floor and a really high ceiling. Of course, he's that explosive running back, one of the best running backs right now in the NFL. If the Colts can move the ball pretty well against the Saints, Frank Gore is going to have a good game. He's going to have a lot of good opportunities at least. But a guy I like more than Gore this week and priced $100 cheaper is Dion Lewis. Now, he didn't do so well for us last week, but he was hindered with that injury. Reports say he will not be hindered with the injury week 7, so feel free to pick him at only $7,000. Another guy priced at the same price as Lewis is Latavius Murray, a guy a little bit more upside, a little bit more risk, especially if the Raiders get very behind in this game. That's not going to be a great pick, but I do like Latavius Murray, $7,000. He is priced right, a good value pick. Okay in cash games, even better in tournament games because of the little bit of risk you take with him. I like Lamar Miller. Danny Woodhead, great value. So if you do spend up on quarterbacks and maybe spend up on other positions, Danny Woodhead is going to be a good pick for you. $6,000 right there for him. And we know Melvin Gordon is not projected to get a lot of points. He's basically in the doghouse of the Chargers. If you want to save a little bit more money, look for Matt Jones and Alfred Morris. I like these guys only if Chris Thompson is out, because Chris Thompson does get a lot of catches, a lot of targets and touches. So I like those two guys only if Chris Thompson is out. Not going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over those two guys though. Now, a guy I really like, very risky, is Christine Michael. Now, he's only priced at $5,600, so that's going to be a good, a risky pick. Now, you can pick him in a cash game, but if you do, make sure you surround him with a lot of safe picks because he is a risky pick, more of a tournament pick. He won't be unpopular and he won't be popular. He'll be okay. Now, if you really want to save money, the best guy right here is basically a punt, is Robert Turbin on the Browns. So I do like Robert Turbin just because of his price, $4,700, not too bad. FanDuel finally did it. They raised the price on my favorite guy, DeAndre Hopkins. He is the highest priced wide receiver this week and might be for a little while. This week, I do like Julio Jones, priced at $9,100. DeAndre Hopkins is priced at $9,200. So if you're going to spend up, look for those two wide receivers right there. I really like John Brown. His floor is not too high, but I could still start him in a cash game because of his price is not too bad, $6,700. Now, he's a little bit better in a tournament, but I could still start him in a cash game, most definitely. A guy I like that... you know, some people didn't think was a great pick last week. Willie Snead, he was actually an okay pick because if you looked at his price range, there's not going to be too many guys, too many wide receivers that's cheaper than him that's going to give you more value. So with $6,500, it's going to be hard to beat that value again. Vegas has the Saints-Colts game being the highest scoring game this week. So Drew Brees is likely going to have to throw the ball in the fourth quarter. I really like Willie Snead, high floor. This is more of a cash game pick, I think. A good value cash game pick. He has a high floor. He doesn't seem to be a huge red zone target, a guy that's going to likely get multiple touchdowns this game, but he's going to get a lot of targets. Another great value pick I like is Eric Decker at 6,200. 6,200 going to be really, really hard to beat that type of value for a wide receiver this week in DFS. If you're out for value, Ted Ginn Jr. is only 5,300. Seth Roberts, the wide receiver on the Raiders, 5,100. And I do like Robert Woods at 4,900. This is more of a punt. This is the game at London. We already went over the Bills' injuries on the offense there. We talked about Michael Floyd. He's only 4,900. And if you want a true punt at wide receiver, look for Chris Conley if Jeremy Maclin is out. For tight ends, I like Gronkowski in tournaments. Now, I see his popularity going down a little bit since he hasn't had that huge game he did in week 1. His production has dipped a little bit. I still really like him though, and I like him more in tournaments because he's just priced so high. I usually tend not to spend too much on tight ends unless it's Gronk, but like I said, I think people are going to be a little bit down on him, so the percentage of people that will pick him in tournaments will go down. So that makes a good pick in GPPs. I think Travis Kelce is going to have a lot of targets. Not in love with his price though at 6,000. Antonio Gates, another guy is going to be popular, going to be really hard to resist. One of my favorite tight ends. Going against the Raiders, great matchup. Him and Gates and Rivers are just money, and at 5,800 his price went up a little bit, but still great value right there. I like Julius Thomas, I like Delaney Walker. Charles Clay's gonna have to get a good amount of targets this week. I like him at 5,500. Jordan Reed and Ben Watson are both okay. Larry Donnell at 5,200 is really good value. If you want a sneaky start, look for Ladarius Green, but only if there's going to be some Chargers injured. Let's say Stevie Johnson does not play and or another receiver, then I like Ladarius Green. If not, I don't like Ladarius Green too much. And if you really want to save money, the cheapest tight end at 5,000 I would pick is Zach Ertz. Another guy I'd consider is Kyle Rudolph, but I like Zach Ertz a little bit more. I think Zach Ertz is... I like him more than the other guys priced at 5,000. If you guys want to try some of these picks on FanDuel, make sure you follow the link below in the description and use promo code FANTASYCouch. So follow the link below, use promo code FANTASYCouch. You can play for as little as $1 or even play for free to try it out. So make sure you guys do that. Check it out. I wish you guys good luck this week. Go out there and kill it on FanDuel. And that about wraps up this video. You can go here for more sleeper picks. I have several options for GPPs. Also, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. We come out with the weekly waiver wire videos and also my weekly DFS NFL picks. So make sure you guys subscribe. I'll see you on the next video.